My life be like, ooh, yeah, ooh. My life be like, ooh, yeah, ooh. Yeah, ooh. My life be like, yeah, ooh.
My name is Kenny Manakulato. I was born in a city in southern India called Kottayam. I am one of the few Indians who was born into a Catholic family. India was a fun place to grow up. I still remember our house in India. It was one of the few double-story houses in the neighborhood where I lived. In my memories, my favorite part of our home was the acres of land around my house. There used to be coconut trees all over the land. There was also a small creek running across our land. I still remember every day after school, we would just go into the fields and play. Just going into the fields and breathing the fresh air after a good game of tag seemed so enjoyable as a child. I think that one of the main reasons that this was so fun was because there was no TV in my house. So what else could be more enjoyable than just playing, having fun, and developing bonds with those who are closest to you? Those were one of my favorite childhood memories. The house was occupied by not only my family, but also some of my extended family members on my dad's side. This made my house more special because all my relatives were always around me. Later on, my parents decided to move to Austria. My mom was a nurse and she had gotten work in Vienna, Austria. At first, it was a difficult transition because I did not know how to speak the language. Luckily, I was able to go to a bilingual school which taught me English and Deutsch. We lived in apartments which were provided by the hospital my mom worked for. Our apartments in Austria was very different to our house in India. The apartment that we lived in was on the 9th floor of the apartment building. The apartment itself was pretty small. There was only a kitchen and 2 bedrooms. However, that did not matter because I had friends inside the apartment complex. We would go outside every day and just play soccer or go running. We would never go running just for the fun of running, but to reach an apple orchard on top of a big hill which was a mile or 2 away from the apartment complex. Even though the geography and lifestyle was different from India, the family and friends around me made me feel at home. After 3 years in Austria, my mom got a job in Manchester, England. So, my family and I moved from Austria to Manchester, England. The best part of this move was that we drove from Vienna to Manchester. We drove through Germany, Italy, and France. We visited a lot of attractions and tourist spots. In Manchester, it was a little difficult to get used to the English accent. The school I used to go to was relatively close to where I lived. Our home in Manchester was a 2-story house and the neighborhood was in a square shape with a big flat empty playground in the middle. There was another big playground close to our house, so we could go there a few times. After my parents got the house, my relatives came to live with us. Our house in Manchester was much bigger than the apartment in Austria, and it was similar to our house in India. The people who are around you is a major factor in what makes a place a place. The biggest similarity was that some of my extended family members moved in with us and made me feel at home again in Manchester. Then, after 2 years in England, my mother got a job in Athens, Georgia at St. Mary's Hospital. Another reason that we moved here was because my dad's brother also used to live here. So we came to Athens, Georgia, and we bought a house in Athens. Our house here is a 3-story house with a basement. My parents also built a basketball court on the backyard. My house is also closest to the neighborhood pool. It is a pretty nice house to live in. After some time, I got used to school and life in Athens. I loved going to high school in Athens. On weekends, me and my friends would go downtown. We would go and watch concerts, but my favorite part was going and watching UGA football and basketball games. Since I grew up around Athens, I wanted to go to UGA and experience how that would be like, and so that is how I ended up here. Throughout my journey, I've learned that the places that you live is not only about the physical location, but also about the people who live there, like family and friends. It is the people around you that makes a place what it truly is.